One, two, three, four, five, and we are live. Hello, everybody. I see that I cannot go live on LinkedIn because they have not approved me or something. Very, very, very annoying. But hey, that's how life is. Hello, everybody on the live stream. This is the Less Doers live stream because I have changed the brand under which I am publishing on the internet, and that is because I am deeply concerned about how people are working and how I am working, and I have analyzed my decisions over the last 15 years, and it has led me to a conclusion that uh, actually the main problem of high achieving people nowadays is that they do a lot of things and far too much, and so that's why my brand is called Less Doers, because it's very complicated. It requires a lot of courage to doing less and not more. Everybody around us is doing more and more and more, and actually if we want to progress towards our goals, we should probably do less and make decisions that eliminate and delegate things rather than take on more and more responsibilities. And so but this will not be today's live streams subject and topic. Rather, I wanted to talk with you uh, about why being an observer and why being a contrarian is an excellent strategy for the coming years and for the post COVID-19 world and for the changing, disrupted economies and mainly for the future, I think, because a lot of people is concerned by 5G and a lot of people is concerned by social media and a lot of people is concerned by AI and the evolution of those AI powered systems. And I think that being an observer and a contrarian is an excellent strategy to cope with the future. Let me see who is. Whoops. Okay. Let me see who is watching this. Two people. Hello. Try writing a comment, maybe, to tell me from who you are and from where in the world are you watching. And this will give me the opportunity to bring the comments inside the live stream also. Yeah, so being a contrarian, it's actually a strategy that I have embraced in my life since I don't know, since I was a teen. Probably it has stick with me because I think every teen is a contrarian in a moment in their lives, and it. But I have not abandoned this contrarianism, but rather I have carried it over until now. So yeah, it's it's a good strategy. First of all, because when you observe and you store the observations, that means that what you see in the world and what you witness, it should be written somewhere. I don't know, in a notepad or in an application you are using on the internet or somewhere. And if those observations are stored, it will give you the opportunity to go back to those observations and to connect the dots. And when you connect the dots, you will be able to predict what will happen in the future far better than without doing it. Because if you observe something and then life goes on, you don't note it, you will actually very fast forget about it. And if you forget about it, you will be not able to to draw conclusions later on. So noting and having a notepad on yourself, and or at least a smartphone with an application like Notion or Evernote or OneNote is a good strategy, because your observations in the future will be useful. And I have always this example I repeat, saying that a lot of people is jobless right now because of COVID-19, and what I suggest to those people is look around you, look what is happening, look for the business opportunities that are emerging, because those business opportunities were not present before COVID, and uh, note and store those notes, those observations somewhere. And note, for example, I'm noting all the companies that are laying off people right now. Why? Because in the future I don't want to cooperate with those companies, and because in the future uh, I don't want to let anyone from my family to work for those companies, because those are the companies that are considering that COVID-19 is a good reason to lay off staff. And this is not a good place to be when you are employed at a company that is not respecting people and is using some kind of a virus uh, as a good reason to lay off people. That's not a relationship professionally that you want to have. And so I am noting this, and I'm thinking about publishing it on my Polish website, rajkow.pl. I don't know, maybe I will do it in the future, and I will share those observations. But in general, if I don't do it, I will probably forget, like I have forgotten in 2008 which companies were laying off people and then distributing bonuses to the managers, the bailout bonuses, etc. So I have forgotten this, and right now I don't want to forget this, because I think that by noting those observations and by acting on them in the future, I will become a better person, and I will uh, give better advice to the people that are important for me. And so those observations are noted and are stored electronically and on paper. Uh, and so those informations, those observations you have noted, will help to shape a better future for you and for your family and for your friends. Uh, and right now, for the first time in history, you have actually the possibility not to be taken advantage of. If someone treats you bad right now, if someone uses the actual economic situation or the actual healthcare or political situation to take advantage of you, you can remember it by observing it and noting it, and acting on this in 2 years, in 4 years, but in a future that is not too distant, really. It's the first time in history that you can read those observations by other people on social media, on LinkedIn, on their blogs. You can listen to those observations on their podcasts, and I am very happy that it's happening right now. That people are observing and storing those observations for the future, storing permanently. Uh, because I think that the current events actually are only a test for the economy, a test for the politicians, what they will do with these situations, how they will solve it, how boldly they will decide or not, or cowardly maybe they will make some kind of decisions. And so I think that you can consider this situation as a test and note who will pass the test in the future. In order to act on this knowledge in the future. Uh, and I think that in this situation right now, when all the world is completely upside down and is disrupted, You can actually, by being a contrarian, be visible and stand out from the crowd. If you look right, left at everybody saying that it's the end of the world, it's the end of the economies, you can choose not to speak like that. You can choose not to focus only on bad news. You can, if you open any news channel and there is only pain and only suffering in those news channels and only bleak future events are described, you can turn off those channels and never watch them back. You can, it's your decision, really. And if you turn them off, you will actually separate yourself from opinions, because nobody from those news channels knows what will be in the future, really. So you will separate yourself from opinions that are only opinions. It's like listening to your neighbor having an opinion on the healthcare system or on the business of Amazon.com. It's just an opinion, it's not the reality. And so, by separating yourself from those opinions, you will actually be calmer, and you will actually uh, gain some time and some peace of mind in order to pursue your goals, in order to make something out of your life. Because when you are anxious after watching the news, you don't want to start a business. You don't want to, I don't know, post an ad on Fiverr and become a freelancer. You don't want to do anything of actionable. Whereas if you cut this anxiety out of your life, you can first of all use this time used for watching TV and watching news to other purposes much more productively, and also you can you want to do something because you're not anxious, you're not afraid, so it's a win-win situation. And you, I think, for the last part of this live stream, I wanted to tell you that remember that you are unique. And so being a contrarian is actually standing for yourself. If everybody is doing something and you think that it's not the good way to approach this situation, don't be afraid. Your opinion matters. You are unique, and be proud of it, how you are unique. If you're if the fact of being unique is not hurting somebody, that's okay. And if you will be the only person in your entourage who is positive about COVID-19 and is thinking positively about the future, you will probably be of more use to your small community and to your family than by spreading anxiety, fear, and panic. And also be unique and be proud of your uniqueness, because it's far simpler to live as yourself than to always try to be somebody else. That's it for now. Thank you very much for participating to this live stream. Too bad no comments, but hey, next time maybe. Cheers.